Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Consciously Thriving podcast. Is that annoying? That's really annoying.
I would turn this podcast off if I heard somebody do that.
That's funny.
Hi everyone. How is everyone today?
How's everyone going?
This episode is going to be about... Nadia, take it away.
Right. So today we're going to unpack the term spiritual awakening and what this has meant for the both of us, right? Because a lot of people, some people even say on social media, like, since you're awakening, and like some people just probably like, what do they mean by that? Like, to what level?
Yeah.
Right?
Particularly when we say we're consciously choosing, the whole podcast is called Consciously Thriving. Like, what the fuck does that actually mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie though, before we get into it, I do have to say, like, Nads and I have an issue where we will just talk and talk and then film, and then we're like tired because we've just spoken so much.
Yeah.
So today she literally just came over now and we're like, we're not talking, and we've chucked on the podcast, but I don't feel like we've really gotten to say hi to each other.
Hello.
It's not affecting you, you're just normal about it.
I'm fine, babe.
What just happened to my voice?
I don't know. You're upset about it.
I'm upset.
Jeez.
How do you feel? You're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable that I want to talk to you. I can feel the energy right now.
She tells me not to talk to her, but she does it on the podcast anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I just think like we need
How was
a
your
little
birthday
bit of
yesterday? You had a good day?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Sheila's birthday yesterday.
It was. I did have a good day. Nadia spoiled me the entire day.
Not really.
Yes, you did.
We went bounce. Then
Yeah,
we
because
went
she was
for
too scared
breakfast.
to go to rollerblading. But we're going to do that anyway.
We're going to do it anyway. No,
Do you know what she said? No. Do you know what she said? She's like, yeah, I'm going to get the 4-wheel rollerblades. I'm like, who are you?
I didn't want to injure myself.
No.
And then we went to bounce, and there's like these big,
Bounce is basically like a trampoline place.
Oh, yeah.
And there were only 3-year-olds there.
3-year-olds,
Let me
right?
just put that into
was fun,
perspective.
We went on like these like pillar things that you can jump off, right? And
That was scary shit.
you were scared of the height. I was scared of landing wrong because I didn't trust myself. But if you saw you're meant to land on like your butt, like your bottom or your back, and every time I managed to land on my feet or forward.
No,
And I kept manifesting it because I was like, I'm so scared right now. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it properly. And then as soon as I jumped, my body went into freeze and like flipped the other way. It's like,
no, like she was like front diving into it, and the guy was like, no, you have to land on your butt. Like, can I put this into perspective, guys? Guys, 6-year-olds were doing it correctly and just flinging themselves off that thing. Nadia could not manage to land on her butt. It was just the funniest thing.
And then Sheila did it. Sheila was scared of the height. Like, you know better.
I'm terrified of heights. Like, I crap my
I'm
pants.
scared of landing wrong.
Oh my god. Anyway, so we were like chickening out. She was scared of landing wrong. I was scared of the height. The guy was like, all right, get away. Like, he's like, fuck off. You guys are so annoying. So we ended up like... Guys, 3-year-olds there. Like, it was high.
Anyway.
So we end up, like, leaving that place and we're, like, jumping off, like, the little platform thing. Like, little bitches that we are. And then I was staring at it and I was like, nah, I can't live my life in fear. I need to conquer this fear.
So I was thinking the same thing, and we're just like, let's get up and do it.
Nah, we looked at each other and we're like, we're gonna fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
So we have to do it. We're
Still landed wrong?
She landed absolutely wrong. She died. She dove in and I just like, I was like, that was actually
Did
really
you watch
scary.
me like all the way
Babe, I watched the whole thing and the guy was like, oh my god.
So he told me like 3 times, like, you really can't land like that because you're going to hurt something. I'm like, I'm trying, but the more you tell me that, the more I'm manifesting landing wrong.
She said that to him. She's like, the more that you tell me that I can't land like that, she's like, the more I'm going to land like that.
It was bad.
Too good.
But it was her birthday and Shirley spent the day manifesting.
I did. So we like to spend birthdays doing the things that, well, just being in the frequencies and vibrations that you want to call in for the year ahead. So I started off with the call for multidimensional living, which is the program that I'm running, which is always such a vibe. And then we went to breakfast and we did some work there as well. And, the work that we do, we love. So
yeah, that was such a pleasure.
It was so good. And then we went to bounce and had some fun.
Went to bounce and had fun, and then we came home, did more work, and just hung out with Pluto.
Cooked me food.
Yes, I made chips and a nice salad.
Yeah, talent for making salads, guys. You don't understand. I wish I could give you the flavor over the podcast.
Oh my god, she's so dramatic.
It's stupidly good. Like, my partner and I always try to like
It's sad because Anthony, who's my partner, doesn't appreciate it.
He really does. I feel like because he's had it for like 10 years.
No, he just doesn't care. He likes things non-vinegary, like his salads, like not to have a lot of flavour.
What?
He basically has no dressing.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
No, that makes me concerned.
Yeah.
That's like people. Oh my god, I used to work with that's serial killer shit. I used to work with a girl who was offended by sauces. Like, she wouldn't have tomato sauce, she wouldn't have barbecue sauce, she wouldn't have mayonnaise.
What?
Yeah, like, bothered me. Particularly, like, you've seen our fridge. Me and Daniel.
I love sauce.
I love sauce as well. She just doesn't do sauce. Like, it personally offends her. She hates it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no.
It is what it is. To be honest, up until I reckon a year ago, maybe even 6 months, taking me to a cafe to have a normal brunch, like mushrooms, avo on toast, like, no.
That's true.
You couldn't even do that. Like,
she hated avo.
I had mushrooms.
And you hated mushrooms.
There was a few breakfast things that I was like,
yeah.
It was really difficult to take me. I would just have toast and an egg.
Oh my gosh, you were my little sister. That's what she does.
Literally. But now I'm like, lather the mushrooms, avocado, load up the mushrooms, we're going full ham.
I know. It's funny how your taste buds change as well.
Well, I forced myself. I feel like it was just trauma from a kid.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it as a kid, and then I was just felt like I didn't like it for the rest of my life. Do you know what I don't like, though?
What?
Apple pie. My mum made it once when I had a virus.
Oh, yeah.
I was like throwing up for like a week straight, and one of the nights that I was really sick, she made an apple pie, and forever since, I cannot
eat one.
I can't hack it.
I understand that. I extremely, extremely dislike apple pies as well. Not because of trauma, because they are gross. I don't get anyone who likes an apple pie.
Not that bad. I mean, I can't have it because of that, but like, I don't remember it being that bad.
I think it's bad.
Fair enough. Again, no judgment.
No judgment.
No judgy judge.
But also judging the girl that doesn't like sauce. No, she knows that I'm judging her for that.
Yeah, seriously, it's funny.
All right, we're going to get back to what we were talking about today. So we're actually going to be talking about what the fuck is spirituality when we're talking about awakening, consciousness, all of the things. Now, a lot of what I used to talk about on the podcast, when the podcast was called The Closeted Soul, was around spirituality and spiritual awakenings, tapping into like higher consciousness and things like that. But I guess like at the start of the podcast, I don't know why these episodes actually deleted. We don't know why it happened. The first 3 episodes that I ever filmed. So I thought that we would just do another
episode
unpacking that, because I did speak about my spiritual awakening in that and how it all happened. And something I often say online, it's like a little like marketing thing that I do where I'm like, I used to be an atheist and now I was a psychic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To draw people in. That's what you do.
That's what you do.
So,
but it's the truth.
Yeah, well, it really did happen. So it's a good little plug, right? So we'll just discuss that. I think we've spoken about you recently, like your transition.
Yeah. But, like, if we unpack it to, like, you know, what the hell is a spiritual awakening?
Yeah.
What it really means is having you going through this experience where you discover that there is life beyond this physical 3D reality, which means there's actually more going on. That's how I would describe like an awakening. Like, I don't know, like it's like kind of like an epiphany or an experience. Like some people see spirits, or some people have timeline shifts. Some people, mine was very organic. Like Shoelace was like a whole bodily response when like you ate ham that time.
Yeah, so that's a good description, what you said. Yeah, it's like an awakening to another world that exists right in front of us, but you just kind of, you don't have the awareness of that world, and you really have to allow it to come in. And maybe we can even give you some tips on how you can do that. But essentially it is a very organic thing. It's not something that can be convinced. It's not something where I could sit there and be like, you need it, like, you know, it's not something I can tell you about. It's something that's experienced. Like, I know when I was going through my awakening, I was very much alone at the beginning. Like, Nadia was not going through her awakening. My partner, everyone around me basically had never experienced anything like what I was going through. And it actually I feel like there are like stages to spiritual awakening.
There's like the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D, and like you can oscillate between those stages. Yeah,
but I'm not talking about dimensions. I'm talking about like actual just stages of like... Hold on, hon. Let's back the fuck up. We're starting with what is a spiritual awakening. We're we're very sarcastic with each other, so this is something.
It's fine.
I know.
Yeah.
I just like.
It's so fun. It's so true though.
It is
like,
funny.
Slow down.
Yeah, slow down. Hold your horses. Back up.
We haven't spoken all day. We just like jump in the car.
Honestly, this is how we are. No, so essentially, like for me personally, like I said, I was a complete atheist prior to getting into this world, which meant like I never had any sort of like spiritual experiences. I probably had like 2 experiences when I was a quote unquote atheist, and I use that word because I was an atheist. I like
She was.
I full on.
Yeah, really bad. Like she would
Really
fight
bad.
with people online.
I would fight with people online. Why did I do that? I was just so like, I hated, because we went to a school that was like very Christian and Catholic, and they were.
It was a uniting church school. So yeah, they were like, it wasn't like mandatory to do so much of that, like when you got to VCE, but like it was
we had
up
to go
until
to like,
year 10 and go to like assembly and church, like basically church
we
once
had to
a week.
go to church once a week.
Yeah.
And I like, the priest at school was like very, what's the word? He wasn't accepting of other religions.
Well, he was biased, yeah, with what he had.
I know, but like my mum was Muslim, and he would like sit there and like, you know, reprimand Muslims in front of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hated it, and I was just like, you know what, you suck.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, I was just it was just like his comments would trigger me even more, and then seeing like I don't know, I went to one of the events that was running.
You got more involved than what I did.
You got more. Yeah.
Well, no, I remember one time I got invited to an event and I wasn't allowed to go. My parents were like, "That's a cult. You're not going."
You're not going.
Yeah, they actually. I was like really upset because my friends were going.
And now look at the cult you're in.
Yeah.
No. We always joke about it being a cult. Like, we'll have these moments where we look at each other, we're like, are we a part of a cult? And we just don't know.
I love spirituality.
No, it's not. It's funny. This was very much different. It was very cult-like in the way that it was done, and it was like all of your friends were going to these events and they were talking about it, and I thought it was a festival. I actually did not know that it was like a church event thing, and then when I went there and kind of experienced what I experienced, basically they called me up and I had to like go on stage because all my friends were like pushing me to go on stage, and then they took us out the back and they're like, okay, now you've given your soul to Jesus. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I was like, I did not give my soul to Jesus. My friend and I that went, we were just like, never again. We were like, that was fucked.
Yeah.
We literally left after that. We were scared.
That's crazy.
It was weird, right? They were giving us all these rules on what we could do, what we couldn't do. It was fucked, babe. And that was like, that all added to my hatred of religion and the things I experienced in my culture. Like, I was Turkish. I grew up in a Muslim community, but I grouped that together. Like, this was all community based. This wasn't religion based. But I ended up like grouping like the suppression towards women and the hierarchy and all of that. And I just
didn't like religion.
Yeah, I put like religion to the side, put it all in one group. Spirituality, did not let that in my life. I was like, nah, this is a cult. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Gross. Just sit there. Now, obviously, I don't think like that. Yeah. I take like things from different religions. I love learning. I love
learning about the different religions.
Absolutely. Always talk to Jesus. Like, it's not like that, you know what I mean? But it's just really funny when I look at like actual religion as like an institution, I still don't agree with like the way that it's run, but that's like my personal opinion, so that's fine, right? Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to give you the background of why I went to atheism, and I was an active atheist online, like fighting people, because I'm like, they're putting their views on me. I'm going to put my views on them. Like, I was like, you can't, like, you know, so very much of a rebel child, I will say.
That's
Anyone
funny.
tell me I can't do anything, I'm like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, legit.
You were the opposite, right?
Nah, I was pretty against it.
But you went like a rebel.
Not like you, babe.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, you made it out of your way.
I went out of my way. Yeah. So basically, you just didn't grow up in a religious household, really, right?
Finish yours part.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll share mine.
Why not?
True. All right. Yeah, true. So organized. Okay. No, so I grew up Catholic, I would say, but never, like my grandparents, my nonna and nonno, went to church every week, and I went with my family on Christmas and Easter, you know, doing the right thing by my grandparents, but it was never forced in my family or anything like that. And even as I got older, we like didn't go to church as much and things like that. And then as I got older, what I didn't like was like you grow up and hear about like the institution and the wrong things that go on and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. But it was just one of those situations, it wasn't a big thing in my family. Like, we'd go Christmas, Easter, show our respects, and that was that. As I got older, I got a little bit more frustrated with the institution, and I was like, I don't really want to go. Like, stop making so much of an effort. Like, my parents might go, or one of my sisters loves going to church, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And now that I've like had a spiritual awakening, I'm like, you know what? It is kind of nice to have that level of faith. But yeah, never against it, but I just was kind of neutral. But then as I got older, became a little bit more against the stuff that I heard. And then I kind of lapped that up with religion and the institution.
Yeah.
We
do tend to group things as humans. It's just easier in our mind to think about it like in a group, and it's like, no, I don't like that and I like that, right?
Yeah. See, we make biased opinions, but, I look back and go, wow, I was not self-aware.
Yeah, exactly right. So interesting to think about like different experiences with religion. I was always able to believe whatever I wanted, hence no one could tell me what to do.
Yeah. My parents were really good with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never was forced for anything. So it was great.
Yeah, your parents are good like that.
Yeah.
They definitely are. So essentially what happened to me was I ended up getting really bad mental health. What? That wasn't English. I ended up getting, I was really bad mental health wise. So I ended up developing really bad depression, and I started to develop anxiety attacks as well, panic attacks. And this went on for about a whole year. Like, this probably 2019 was a year where my life blew up. Like, I lost my biological father, and then my family like had this like breakup and separated, and that was also like losing family, losing another father figure, dealing with like everyone was like coming to me in that moment of like,
you kind of just had to take on a whole heap of responsibility that year
all at once,
and like while also grieving the loss of your dad, and then
also graduating from a course that I hated.
So she was in a course that she didn't hate. I guess it's like a triple, like a domino effect when all these things happen. Yeah,
it was definitely a domino effect, and it was just I was in the last year of uni. It was the worst time of my life, I could say, but also the best time of my life now that I look back, because it taught me so much and it led to this path. So everything does happen for a reason. Essentially, that ended up happening. I was living with my mum at the time. We have a good relationship now because we've done a lot of healing, but at the time we had a lot of like polarizing opinions. We could not see eye to eye. We were constantly fighting. So I ended up like taking my animals, and I ended up moving in with my partner, which was like such a blessing. And we moved in together at the start of COVID. So this is before so this is 2020. So this is before anything had ever really happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I making
before
sense?
the world.
Before, So it was like the day that we moved in was the day that we went into lockdown for the first time ever. So we were terrified, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It felt like the world was ending.
Yeah.
But essentially, that's what happened. I moved out. Suddenly, I was given the opportunity to spend all this time with myself, right? Work was taken away. I couldn't go out with friends. I couldn't distract myself. At the time, I was partying a lot. I was just drowning my sorrows in all the things, right? So I was trying to avoid my actual feelings, as I always did. I was never we aren't really taught emotional intelligence, right?
No.
So it's what you do. It's you distract yourself. But I got to this point during COVID where I was like, I don't have anything else to fucking watch. I've watched all the things. I've, consumed all the social media, and it just got to this point. Like, I cooked, I did all the things that you did.
During lockdown?
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't know, like cooked new meals and things like that, tried new recipes, spring cleaning. And then I got to this point where I was like, I have no choice but to deal with myself. Like, I'm trying so hard to escape my mind and escape these thoughts and escape this anxiety, when in reality, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I remember I tried therapy during that time as well, and that didn't work either for me personally. And I was just like, I have no other choice but to just meditate. So when I was with my mum, I had started meditating, but off and on. So I was going 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, and I wasn't really committing to it because the anxiety was so profound. Lockdown was when I started to really commit to it. So then I started to force myself to sit there. I have a really intense energy. So I was like, you're fucking sitting there with all the anxiety, and you're going to just be with it, and you're going to do this meditation thing. So I started to meditate morning and night. Then I started to become obsessed with it, because then I finally got that like sense of like peace and clarity I was looking for. Like I just wanted that like calm feeling because I hadn't felt it in over a year.
Yeah.
I've never felt anything like that in my life, to be honest. So I was like, this is so profound. So I started to meditate literally morning, lunchtime, early afternoon, late afternoon, and then right before bed. And then I was doing breath work as well, which was really helping to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. So I was really, really, really throwing myself into meditation, and I was beginning to love it because I was finally getting that peace, right, that I was looking for. And I was beginning to understand my mind in a whole new way. Now, this was all very physical, so nothing spiritual was happening other than calming my mind and getting to know myself on a deeper level. Now, the day that my spiritual awakening, so as Nadia described, actually awakening to a different world, came online for me was just after meditating one day. I ended up going to the fridge to go eat some ham, which I usually like to do for a little bit of a snacky snack.
I love how it's just ham.
I know, it's just ham, I know. So I was eating some ham, and then all of a sudden I put the ham in my mouth, and then I could feel the essence of the pig. I could feel the pig's soul. I could feel the pig's sadness, and I could feel like the anxiety, the worry. And I wasn't getting like good meat, you know what I mean? I was just getting it from the supermarket. So I wasn't conscious on that either. I was just getting whatever was cheap. And I cannot tell you, that feeling was so overwhelming. I could not, like, it made me want to throw up. I spat the ham out, and that moment was when I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, this is not normal. I've never experienced anything like that. And that was when I would say my third eye, which is like a chakra point, that's like our intuitive muscle kind of opened, and that's when I started to experience energy on a whole new level. And from there, my spiritual awakening was very much, I guess, all over the shop is a good way to describe it. Like it was all over the shop. Like I cannot tell you how insane it was in terms of like things coming online, and then just like getting taken to past lives, my soul literally leaving my body at one point, like having lucid dreams, astral traveling. Like I can't tell you. It was insane, and it kept going and going and going, and I couldn't ignore it. That was when I like went into actually studying, you know, how do I actually use these abilities? Because then I started to have like psychic premonitions, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? So then I went into a program and learned how to use it, and that's when I ended up like becoming a psychic and starting that online business that I did start.
Wow,
that's my journey with energy. Like it was very much an awakening to a whole new level, but the stages are really funny. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? Then it's like, I'm going crazy. Like I was convinced.
Yeah, you were crying to me.
Yeah.
I remember you came to my house and you were crying because you're like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to lose everyone because I thought I'm so different now. I don't even know who I am.
Yeah, no, poor thing. Like she came over and I think she wanted to start going up online and start doing this and stuff like that, and you were just crying because I'm like, it's okay, babe. Like, it's okay. I understand though, like now having gone through my awakening to the level I have, I'm like, shit, babe. How did you do it? How did you do it alone?
I was so scared to tell you particularly. That's probably why I was crying, because I remember that time you told me not to do it. You remember like
4 years ago?
4 years ago, yeah. When I said that that's what I wanted to do, and then I had given into fear and I stopped doing it, and then I was like to Nadia, I'm actually just going to go to university or something like that, because I was like, this isn't for me. I think
you want to do a makeup page or whatever.
I had done all that, and I tried to do like the videos online, and then I decided no, because fear got the better of me, and then I was like, nah, I convinced myself that that's not what I really wanted. And then she's like, honestly, like I didn't take you to be that type of person. Like I always thought that you'd be much more than that. Like
something like, I think we were even younger than that, maybe like 20.
Yeah, we were really
26 now.
Yeah,
what a judgmental cow.
No, not at all. And
I just didn't know. So yeah, you can understand why that fear is there.
Yeah, and that's why I cried with you, because I was like, oh my god, Nadia's going to judge me so fucking hard.
And how was my reaction? I can't remember.
Oh, you were really loving. You were really supportive. I remember Nadia when she was like, she was not having a spiritual awakening, and I'm sitting there telling her about aliens. I'm like, babe, I am seeing aliens. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You know why? Because I knew you would never lie. I
Yeah.
knew she late to her call. I knew you, and I trusted you.
Yeah.
I knew you. Like, why would you just?
Why would I just say
make that
things
up
like
work?
that?
Like it's like, the relationship and the foundation we had built already before. It was just like, well, this is what she's going through.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
like, I was also like, I want to do that. I wasn't very judgmental. I was just like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like struggling to understand it a bit at the start.
It's a quality I like about you. You're very open, because I don't know if I hadn't had my spiritual awakening and if roles were reversed,
Yeah.
I think I would have looked at you like you were crazy.
It happened the way it was.
Yeah.
Too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's a bit more open, whereas me, I was very like really hung up on my opinion and only my opinion.
Yeah.
So if nobody like saw my opinion, I would be like, well, you're wrong. I'm
yeah.
right.
Yeah, definitely. Now you look back and you're just like, it makes
happened
sense
for a reason.
why roles reversed first.
Yeah. So she like was very open and very understanding. But I still couldn't talk to you about it to the level that we can talk about it now.
Yeah, of course. It's hard. Like, even yesterday, my partner came home after listening to a spiritual podcast, and everything he was talking about, I'm like, I've been trying to talk about this with you for
Oh my god, isn't that like it's so funny. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
You did that to me actually at the start of the thing.
Yeah.
I used to be like, this is what I'm telling you.
It is, and when I said that, I was like, babe, I fully get it. Like, hearing it from, like, sometimes it takes that person to click because you're too close to the person that you're like.
To listen to them.
Yeah, like to understand, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, like, I wouldn't feel like that if Anthony came and said I have this, or you came and said I had that, or like I experienced this. No, but like when you're not familiar or you can't understand it, it takes a random person or listening to someone else to explain it in a way that needs to get explained.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's true when things are too close and you have such an emotional attachment. You're just like naturally programmed to ignore the person. Like my partner just does not listen to me because he like refuses. But I also don't listen to him. We actually laughed the other day. We noticed about ourselves. This is a total side note, but it's funny. Like we noticed that we don't even disagree with each other, but we'll like jokingly just go no. Like if he says something, I'll be like, nah, you're wrong. Like just to like even if I don't actually disagree with him, I'll still say you're wrong.
Yeah,
and he'll do the same with me.
Yeah, I do that with Anthony too, actually.
Yeah, it's just automatically you go on the defensive and you're like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, so that was my experience. So it was very much just waking up to another dimension, and since then the experiences grow and grow and grow, and I control them a bit more. I mean, like this is what I teach the girls to do in multidimensional living, like just really activating that muscle. And something that what happens and what I saw with the girls as well is once you set the intention to actually activate that world, like to connect to that world, then you end up connecting to that world. Like a big thing is we're actually programmed to, like the reason why there are some people that experience it and there are some people that don't experience it is based off of subconscious programming. So if we go back to childhood, that is when we're most influenced. Think about all the movies that we saw, ghosts, right? Being scared of spirits and the spiritual realm and death being scary. And like, you know, we're not taught about the spiritual realms, right? We're taught to kind of fear it or for it to be like fantasy, not real.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like paranormal scarcity going on, like things that are being programmed into us. So naturally we fear that world and we shut it out growing up. Now, something that was really, really, really important for me to do at the start of my awakening was when I started to realize that I was having a spiritual awakening, because I went online and I was like, what the fuck is happening to me? And then I saw other people were having like these spiritual awakenings and I was like, whoa, whole new world. So something that I realized that I had to do was throughout the day, I had to actually say multiple times, I allow my spirit guides to come in and help me. I allow this world. Yeah, and I had to say it constantly. And the reason why is because the subconscious mind is known as the habitual mind. So what that means is you will unconsciously fall back into patterns. And this is why Nadia and I always talk about self-development being the most important, not self-development, self-awareness being one of the most important things on your journey of like actually, you know, connecting back to yourself and changing your life, because you need to be able to catch yourself on these habits. Now, I'm not going to go back into reprogramming talk because we've done the last episodes like that. But this is just really important to note because that's what ends up happening. And this is why people's spiritual awakenings or whatever kind of stunts at a certain point. It's because they don't know that they are going back into subconscious habits and feelings where they're actually rejecting that world because it's what they were taught.
I've done it.
Yeah, absolutely. You block it off, right? So I did it to myself as well. And I also had to deal with like the scary, like those scary thoughts about spirits like hurting you and blah, blah, blah. The thing is about this plane is you have complete free will. Nothing can fuck with you.
No.
And negative, low vibrational entities, yes, they exist, but guess what? They're an aspect of you.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what some people, like, that's what we have to recognize. We all have light, we all have darkness.
Yeah.
And it's not about being fearful of the dark stuff, because I think that's a lot of, like, what, like, keeps people from wanting to explore this world. All you've got to do is just send it love. Not send it away. I feel like that's another really important thing. You're a universe. Yeah, send it love because you're a universal laws gal, right? Mm-hmm. If you send something away with, like, if you send it away and you're like, fuck off, you're not allowed to be in my space, get out of here, which is what I used to do, and it, like, they have to leave, or the entity or the energy has to leave, it's not allowed to be in your space, you're actually just sending that back out into the universe.
Yeah, you are. Absolutely. And I think this one applies a lot to the universal law of the law of one. Like you said, it is a part of you. Like, you know what I mean? There's a part of your soul that, you know, like it's tied to. So just not being fearful of that realm is really, really important because understanding we're all connected.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, you do manifest more of that. And you can manifest more experiences of that because you'll be vibrating at a frequency of fear, and when that happens then you're just going to keep seeing more of that.
Oh my God, it's reminding me of my first like encounter with a low vibrational entity. Which was only aspects of my own soul. So you find this deeper and deeper. Like she said, the law of one, everything is us, right? So this was like something I recognized at the start of my awakening. Basically, I was like laying there, and this is when I started to first like really connect to the spiritual realm. And I'm like connecting, and then this like big black dark demon looking thing comes up over top of me, and it's like it's something you see out of like the movies, right? And it was like hovering over my body, and I shit my pants. I ran into my room, and I was like, that's fucked. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I can't meditate anymore. Like I started to freak out. And then I just had this moment with myself the next day, and I was like, nah, you're going to fucking force yourself to go there. I'm like, you're going to meditate in the dark. I'm like, this is your mind. So then I did exactly that, and I forced myself to be there. The entity came back, and then I just looked at it and allowed it to be there, and it literally dissipated. Disintegrated. So.
Yeah, literally. And there's like, you can have an awakening without like seeing spirits exactly. There's like timeline shifts. Like that's something that I experienced as well recently where this was so fucked. Like this was just, I'm like, my partner still laughs at me. He's like, it didn't happen. I'm like, it did. Like I felt it, right? So I got my phone in the, I think it was the morning. I was still in my corporate job and I had to go into the office, and I looked at my phone. It was completely dead. I know for a fact I didn't charge it that night because I was doing affirmations and fell asleep, right? Anyway, so plugged my phone into the charger and like set my alarm for about 15 minutes, right? No phone can charge in 15 minutes, right? So my alarm went off and I was like, okay, I'll go have a shower, blah, blah. Looked at my phone, full battery.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Right? And in my head is all I kept thinking was I need my phone to be charged. I needed my phone to be charged. Just like I needed it to, like I was angry at myself because I didn't charge it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? But it's like not even a like, oh, that's weird. It like actually feels different. Like what the hell did I just like experience? Like
no, I like that. I've had them
like
before.
I can't like explain it.
No,
I was like,
know
what did I just experience? And you know for a fact, I'm like, it was flat battery for 15 minutes ago. And then I was like, is my like phone stuffing up? Maybe like it's not charging properly, completely fine throughout the whole day, drain battery like how it usually does, like after 48 hours or whatever, you know, after a day or two, depends how much I'm on it. But it was like, I was just like, what the hell? I was like, I think that was a timeline shift.
That's the timeline shift, what you described, like the frequency shift.
Yeah.
I've felt them before. I've actually, like, I feel them viscerally. Did you feel like the actual world, like, move?
Nah, I think I was just so overwhelmed that I can't even remember.
what you
I felt different. I felt like even like the light was different in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because I had the sun was beaming in. I did feel like that was a bit different, but it's an unusual feeling.
It is.
Yeah.
The
but
way
not like a shift in my body, but I guess like we are just looking at a phone, you know, I don't know.
Well, I experience it very viscerally, like when I get timeline shifts. Like if I've been manifesting, I will actually like it's like a little mini earthquake, and then I like kind of like stabilize. Like I'm not kidding, guys. This is literally what it feels like. And then like a download would come in, like just claircognizance. So like this is their ability just to know and download information, and the message will come in. You've just like shifted into timelines, and I'm like, okay, I've shifted into the timeline, and it feels different. The light's different. It feels like vibrationally different. It's nuts, right?
Crazy.
You really feel it. The most like intense one I've ever had was when I was going to get coffee at my favorite coffee place that I'm like manifesting trying to live there.
Oh yeah. This is crazy.
Yeah, I love it. It's like the trees. I love it. So I was walking back to my car, and then I have this complete like body shift again. The world like shakes a bit, and then it's all happening very fast. The world shakes a bit. And then my car's missing. It's not in front of me. I remember very clearly. And then I look up, and it was like, your house is up there. Walk. Like you walk to go get coffee. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I came back, and then my car was there. It was crazy.
Yeah. So you can't like, how do you? You know, like people always say, like, how do I have a spiritual awakening? And it's just so organic, isn't it?
It's organic.
You can't force that. You can't force it. And I think like everything's intention. Like everything is like, you know, when you've heard my story on the podcast, so I won't delve into that. But when Shule, I started to get like into meditation and stuff like that, obviously, you know, I was working with the universal laws and understanding the universe on a different level. So when I started to get into the world of spirituality, I know how important like being open to this stuff was. So if you're like sitting there like, oh, how do I have these experiences? Set the intention. So I started being like, you know, I got into personal development. Then I started saying, well, you know, I really want to delve deep into the spiritual side. And then all of a sudden videos started popping up on my YouTube, like, you know, recommended videos without me even searching. Conversations would happen. I would start to get like 11:11 right now.
Yeah.
Cute. It would start to get like experiences with that timeline shift. And like I was so much more open that, and I've still got a lot of more room to be open to this sort of stuff. I definitely know there's a bit of work to do there in that realm, going like deep to the level that you have, because I realize there is a bit of fear still to work through.
Yeah, I just think like you're given what you can handle in this moment, right? And what you need. Yeah, you know, like while those experiences are very good and very fun, and like it's like, oh my god, this is like a whole new world, and I've had like cool stories to tell and cool experiences. Honestly, like my whole journey has been coming back here. Yeah. Like I spent a lot of time up there.
Yeah, you did.
Not on Earth. Yeah. Right? Because I was like, it's so much fun up there. I want to go back up. I want to be here. Right? So I had to really like transition back to Earth, and I'm like, okay, so what the fuck is the point of me even waking up to all of this and experiencing this? And I feel like it's still coming together, but you have to learn how to be a human and be here and experience it.
You got to remember your soul came here to have the human experience, right? So you don't want to. I remember for a fact. Shule got really caught up in that world, and like it became hard for you to go out in public. You didn't want to see anyone. You just wanted, you know, even going to the shops made you feel very overwhelmed. And it happened to me too. It really did. Like seeing people that, you know, like you can't explain your experience. You see the world in a completely different light, but you are having a human experience, and that's what your soul chose. And you just have to remember, like, these experiences are beautiful, and it's beautiful to know these things, but it doesn't take away from the beautiful things that you can manifest. Like, you know, some people go to the extent of not wanting to even have physical objects around them or be around physical elements, which is obviously, that's fine if that works for them. Like, you have monks that lifestyle suits them so well, but like, don't deprive yourself of what your soul wants. I know for a fact that there's a lot of things that I want to experience in the physical world.
We know.
Yeah, we know. I want a private jet.
She's gonna be luxe as. Like we went to Queensland at the start of the year. We ended up like staying in this like glamping place. This like but you didn't have any. It was very much not glamping. It was like fancy camping. Yeah. So it had like no PowerPoints or anything like that. Like a communal bathroom and all of that. I'm great. Like I was in my element.
She was
so
fine.
good. Nadia was
With
like
the bug? I don't think so, babe.
the bug was fucked.
Yeah, we saw a bug and we had to get the owner to come get it out. It was a cricket.
And she was an old lady. The owner was an old lady. Like to give context, we were screaming. The cricket was on Nadia's shoulder. We were doing a breath work in the tent, and then we look up and this cricket is just like bopping around the entire tent. We were shit scared. It was pitch black.
Scary.
There was so many bugs I don't do. But she comes in and we're like, we need help. We're describing this like massive monster type creature. We're like, we don't know what it is. We didn't know it was a cricket at this point.
Yeah.
So she comes in, she steps in, she literally scoops it up into a container. And she's like, guys, it's a cricket. Like, the most it's going to do is, like, put you to sleep with its songs. And
That's
I was like,
crazy.
You're crazy. You did not see this thing beforehand. But anyway, besides
Honestly.
the cricket, she was funny. She was the biggest princess. She was, like, with her straightener. I remember the scene, like, so clearly. She had a straightener in her hand. She had the PowerPoint in her other hand, like, the plug. And she's like, there's no PowerPoint.
Literally.
And I was like, you're a bit of a princess,
when your
aren't you?
hair's a buffy and you go to Queensland
They
during
tie it
wet
up.
season.
Yeah, that was a problem, but...
Not even tying it up helped, babe.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I never knew that she was like that.
Yeah,
I
but,
loved it.
you know, the whole point is, like, I love being, you know...
She loves her fancy things.
I like the physical stuff.
No, but I like that you mentioned that because you are right. There are people that choose to completely get rid of physical, and I think it can teach you a lot. However, minimalism, and not like relying on like the material abundance. However, I agree as well. I think we are here for the human experience and to have the human experience, and I guess like whatever way that works for you.
Yeah, and it's just about not letting the physical stuff control you, like having putting your worth on those sort of things.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm quite wise when it comes to those things. Like, I'm so grateful for all the beautiful things I have in my life, and I'm grateful for everything I have.
Exactly.
And it just doesn't define my worth at all.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, it's all about coming back here. So the spiritual stuff is awesome. I think like what was clear to me, it's that this knowledge is presented to us. The reason why we have these awakenings is so that we wake up to our infinity, right? To our ability to fucking manifest everything that we want, so that we awaken to the fact that we are here to heal things like ancestral trauma and experience emotion on every scale. Like,
absolutely. And just to live life and have fun. Like, you're not here to be punished. The universe doesn't want to punish you. And that's like having this awakening is just really like through your perspective and through these universal laws and, you know, all these beautiful things. You don't have to experience life as this, you know, you live and die. Like, that's it. Like, you know, the world's ending. Like, you get to create your reality on this earth. And that's what's truly amazing about these experiences more than anything. Yeah,
it truly is an energetic playground. Like, you just, that's like the biggest liberating thing about waking up to this knowledge. And like, when you look into things like astrology, human design, gene keys, you just get to learn about yourself. You get to learn about your soul, where your soul has been, what your soul's like codes are in this life. And it's just all to help you be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just more than anything, it's helped us just be happier.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think so. But that's a spiritual awakening. I'm like, it's just waking up to knowledge that there's more than that meets this physical eye. It's not just that we live and we die. It's that energy is constant. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed, but it's forever transformed. We are energy. So therefore, like, you know, death does not exist.
Yeah.
You know, we get to transition.
Yeah. And I think like as we evolve with the podcast, we'll niche down the spirituality side too. Like, we'll go into the different elements and different things around spirituality too, which will be super helpful along all the journeys.
Yeah. I know I'm going back to this point, but I was actually wanting to ask you this before and I completely forgot. Did you have like a proper moment where you're like, there's something more out there?
Just came through, so obviously that our situation I've spoken about before, like that was
that your moment?
That was my moment of going, oh fuck, yeah, okay, because I asked to see an owl if this was real, and then it came into my reality the next day. But like, I love how the universe didn't even give it on the TV or anything. They just did it in a way that like it came to my partner's backyard. It was like a live owl there. I just love how they did that because I'm like, they just knew I was going to be skeptic. I saw it on the TV, like, oh, that was just coincidence.
Yeah.
And that was my moment, like, oh my God. And I just feel how like my spiritual side has come through is through manifestation more than anything. Like, setting intentions, them coming to reality, setting intentions, coming to my reality, my house, like manifesting like everything I had written down and that coming to my fruition. I was like, oh no shit, there's something out there. And then just slowly realizing that, yeah, like everything is energy. Another really profound time that happened for me was when I was doing a breath work and I felt the energy in my body. Like I actually felt that, and I Googled like what that meant because it felt like it felt like my hairs were sticking up and that just like someone was like slightly touching my body like that.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. And like, yeah, just movement in my body. And I was like, oh, what is that? Like, right? Because you're so still in breath work and then meditation. This was the first time I started combining the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I researched, I feel like energy is moving throughout the body. I'm like, oh,
that's energy.
That's energy. So just like slowly, like it wasn't as like, oh my God, I've had spirits come up to me and blah, 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 like definitely going down that route. But like, yeah, through manifestation and feeling energy and like, yeah, basically everything energy. That's how I got to realizing.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so mine was very much like it waking up to the energetic world, and then I started to play around with the manifesting and I asked for my 4-leaf clover. But using that example, if you really want to start connecting to your spiritual side, that could be something that you try, just asking for a sign. Say, okay, give me a sign that this is real, and I'll continue to like explore it, or I'll look into it a bit more, right? You can just be like, I want this as a sign. And even having like a sign that you ask the universe for when you need it is really, really profound.
Yeah.
Because it helps you on your journey, right? You're just like, okay, I'm supported, I'm guided.
Last night, my partner's like, okay, I'm going to ask for a sign. He chose an eagle. Within an hour, we watched a YouTube video. It was Manifestation Babe. An eagle
there was an eagle on there.
But what does he do? What do you do when you start? I want a signy a sign. No, he didn't say it was coincidence, but you're not convinced.
Oh, he wants a signy a sign.
Yeah, he wants a signy a sign. So he's like, I want it in person. I was like, you're controlling the how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him.
Yeah.
He'll learn.
He'll learn.
He's got me. He's fine. But I was just like, oh my God, it just reminded me of like how I was. Like,
yeah, you're like, nah, give me a bit of a more of a sign.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for me when I do that. When I say I want a signy a sign.
No, now they're just like, shut up.
No.
I don't even need a sign sometimes. I'm like, the feeling I have in my body is enough.
It's already.
See, that's what I mean. Like the level, you don't realize how spiritual you get until you look back and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even believe that.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking that, and then I'm just like, shit, I don't even need the owl anymore. I'm just like, the body's telling me, hun.
Yeah, exactly right. Jeez. Well, I think that we've covered everything.
Yeah, that was a nice episode on spirituality.
Yeah, I was just telling Nads off of when we stopped recording for a moment, I was just telling her how much I really like the fact that like reminiscing on that, reminiscing on my journey with like actually awakening to this stuff. Yeah. Because I did transition away from it for a bit as I was like doing multidimensional living, helping people like be here, helping myself be here, and I'm just like, oh wait, fuck, I had a pretty cool experience. Yeah,
you realize, and then you're like, there was the time of your life. You were having a ball back when you were just meditating every day. Oh my God, it just makes me want to do it.
Honestly, you have to be here. I'm like, I have to still be here. But yeah, that's something I've been asked recently, actually. They are telling me to meditate. Yeah. They're like, you need to meditate. I'm tapping into something else at the moment, something completely different. I have to tell you about it because now we're allowed to talk.
Yeah, bad. We're allowed to talk. Yeah, tell me, doll.
No, it's really like tapping into the quantum field on a whole new level.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Keen to hear this one.
Yeah, and then I'll keep you guys updated when I know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So thank you for listening and have a good rest of your day or night, whatever it is at the time of you listening to this.
And tell us about any of your experiences.
Please.
I love hearing this stuff.
Honestly, let me know anything crazy, anything that like triggered your spiritual awakenings. Let us know. We actually have a new Instagram page.
Yeah. So that's where we feel like we want to interact.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think like it's time. There's like so many of you now. So we were just like, you know what? Let's do an actual community online. So if you want to connect to like-minded people, if you want to, you know, follow a vibey Instagram page.
Yeah. Also, I do want to announce on Friday I am holding a...
Before you do that, doll, I'll just tag the handle. It's called @ConsciouslyThriving_podcast. We'll leave that linked in the description.
Amazing. This episode's coming out on Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. But on Friday, I am running
You know this episode's going to be out. And you just
Get
said
bad.
What?
But on Friday, 29th of July, this Friday, I am running a Universal Laws Masterclass. I'm going to cover the law of vibration, law of one, law of cause and effect, and law of attraction. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be able to help you in ease, manifest with ease, and become the master of your mindset and use these universal principles to your advantage when it comes to creating your dream life. So you don't want to miss out. It's on my Instagram @NadiaGalley. So be there or be square.
Yeah, she actually did like the full version of this for the course, for my course, Multi-Dimensional Living. No, I can't say it.
Bad manifested.
No, so she did that, and the girls love it. Like they're still
Obsessed,
talking about it.
I
Like,
love the universe.
they were just like, oh my goodness, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Because people only know about the law of attraction.
Yeah.
They don't actually get like into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it'll be good.
It'll be really, really good. So that's Friday live on Instagram.
Yep. Awesome.
Done. Be there or be square. Okay.
Be there or be square.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. If you loved today's episode, please do not forget to rate and review in iTunes or Spotify.
If you would love to connect with us on a more intimate platform, you can find us both on Instagram @ShuleOzek and @NadiaGalley. We would love to connect with you.
Thanks for listening.